Welcome to my channel. What's this channel about? This channel is about basically living a modern life in Turkey and how to do that, how to not get bored. Well, you cannot get bored here basically, but the main idea is if you're living in Istanbul, you're planning to live in Istanbul, you're planning to stay in Istanbul for a while as a tourist or for work or anything else basically, so that you know what to do, you know all the gadgets, you know of all the communication, you know how to do what basically in daily life, weekends, hobby, and what to do on all of that. So this is basically what it's about. We'll do it mainly in English. Why in English? Well, it's because this channel is mostly for foreigners and not for locals. So that's why. And for this reason I'm going to talk in English, probably also do it in German sometime later. Why in German? Well, I'm half German, I'm half Turkish, and therefore I think I know how the Western life is going on, as I also lived some time in Germany, I lived in France a little bit in Italy, England, in the UK, in Birmingham. So I've traveled quite a lot, but most of my life I've lived here in Turkey, and I like it quite a lot, and it is a good life, I must say. So I will show you everything and how to go for it. Okay, so what we will talk mostly here, we will talk a lot about traveling actually. Traveling in means of traveling with a car, traveling with bus, taxi, over the sea, public transports, and especially a lot with motorcycling, because Istanbul is quite crowded and the traffic is hell here, I must say. So you have traffic in the morning, in the day, and in the evening, and late in the evening. So you have traffic all the time. For that, we are mostly traveling in the city with a motorcycle, if possible. And if we're traveling outside of Istanbul, we're going to travel sometime with a motorcycle, sometime with a car. So all of that stuff together. So both motorcycle and car. If possible, we're also going to take the bus. For example, if we are going to go somewhere to the south or to the eastern side or to other cities. For example, if we are going to go skiing, for example, which is also a point here in Turkey you can do. Not only sunny weather, but also lots of other stuff we can do. Therefore, we'll also take the bus. We will talk about what you can do as a tourist, but not only as the classical tourist sightseeing, but what you can do with your limited time within this period of your holiday here in Turkey and Istanbul. So we'll talk about that, some out-of-the-box things which some locals only know, and not the typical tourist guide and tourist stuff basically. Also what we will talk about the daily life, so what you can do on the weekend, what you can do within the week, in the evenings, because Istanbul is quite a lively city, it's quite vibrant, and the life is going on 24 hours a day, so lots of stuff to do, lots of stuff to do. We'll talk about the Anatolian side, we'll talk about the European side, not so much the European side, because today the European side is more like, I must say, a working area, and it is more the place, well, it's more touristic. It's too crowded for my taste, so to say, as a local. And the sightseeings are not so much anymore. So you go to the museums and all of that kind of stuff, to the bazaars, yes, for sure, but that's quite limited for my taste. So we will probably also go to the European side, but we will stick more on the Anatolian side, which is more the living area, so to say. What we will also talk about is about misconceptions, about cultural differences, and all of that little stuff. We will probably also learn about some words. Some Turkish words will be very useful for your daily life. And we'll do it in between, so it will not be a language education actually, don't worry about that. It will be definitely only one word there, one word there, so Bir bira istiyorum, I want a beer, for example. Some kinds of stuff, like useful stuff like that. Food, for sure. So not only directly food, this is also a different thing with what we'll talk, but we'll talk about some how to get good olive oil, for example, in Turkey. Different kind of honeys here in Turkey. You have a vast variety of honeys actually in Turkey. Which one is, for example, pine honey, which you cannot get in the US, as I know. So that will be quite interesting. We will talk about herbs. We will talk about organic stuffs, which you only can find in this region, in Anatolian region. We will talk about some special dishes. We will talk about shopping for sure, so where you can go shopping, but not only the classical shopping, which is the bazaar and the big malls. A big mall we will probably only visit once because all the other malls are basically the same and all the shops are also the same in it. So nothing big difference, only the interior design is different, so to say. Some you will like, some will not like, but the shops will be mostly to 90% the same. So that's one side. We will be talking about hobbies. Hobbies in sense of what you can do here basically. Well, you can basically do everything. But in my case, I'm going to talk about my hobbies, what we're going to do here, which is, for example, skiing, which is skating, which is music, which in this case is photography, videoing, other kinds of sports, all kinds of sports, and every kind of other kind of cultural and interesting hobbies you can do here basically. So we'll talk about that. For sure, we're also going to talk about nightlife. So where you can go, where it's cheap, where you shouldn't go, where you should go, where you have live music, we have some discos, some house clubs and all of that kind of stuff, where the drinks are good, where the company is good and all that stuff. Not only touristic areas, but local areas. The streets where you can safely go through the city. Basically, Istanbul is quite safe, but for sure, as every city, there are some places you should not really go and you wouldn't enjoy it, after, let's say, 12 o'clock. But the other regions go there after 12 until the morning. Everything is quite safe, no problem at all. Then we will talk also about the travel, how to travel here in Turkey. As I said, with car, with motorcycle, where to go near Istanbul, far away from Istanbul. In the summer we're going to talk about the Aegean side, for example, where to go there, where to stay, where to eat, what to get there basically. So we'll talk about all of that stuff. Also, what we're going to talk about is about how to use the internet in Turkey. What does it mean? Well, basically all the applications you can use here in Turkey, which will be helpful for your everyday life. So we're talking about something like how to get some quick food, how to get some help if you have a problem in your house, like plumbing, or some electricians, or anything else, or your window is broken, how to get some help from there, how to use the internet for that. How to communicate with that, how to use the Instagram community, the Facebook community here in Istanbul. Then we're going to talk about the expat communities here also in Turkey. Probably we go to visit some and we'll talk with them what the expectations are, what they have lived through and what the experiences are basically here. For sure we're going to also talk about restaurants. So how to eat, what different kind of food we have, pastries and all of that good stuff. So this will be quite interesting and quite fun. And it will be going also against my diet, but we'll see about that. So we talk about the street life, we talk about all the animals we have here in Istanbul, especially here in Istanbul, about cats and dogs, and how to find them. Do you need to feed them? Do you need to be afraid of them? Well, basically you don't need to, but it's quite fun. This is also a quite fun area. This is something, well, you see there's lots of things going on. For sure, we're also going to talk about concerts, events, all of that kind of stuff. Lots of things to do here in Istanbul, in Turkey. I'm quite looking forward to that. So welcome to my channel again, and we will start strong. Lots of things to do, lots of things to discuss, and Welcome again.